Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. All of your support is appreciated. All right, let's continue with our MLB Mount Rushmores. I started this series on Friday, so this is the third team I'm doing. Started with the Diamondbacks, yesterday did the Braves, and today we are doing the Baltimore Orioles, going in excuse me, alphabetical order. For these Mount Rushmores, I will be naming the four best players in their team history. It will be only players. I've seen other Mount Rushmores that include managers, sometimes front office executives. For these, I'm just naming the four best players in team history. And in order to be included, you only are counting the stats of that player for the team I'm doing. So, for example, Alex Rodriguez, if he were to make the Mariners team when I do Seattle, I would only count his stats with Seattle. Wouldn't look at Texas, wouldn't look at the Yankees. So that's how this series is going. For the Orioles, I thought there were three obvious choices because they were Orioles lifers. They didn't play for another team in their career. The fourth choice was rather difficult. I really was wishy washy on three of them. Not wishy washy, but I had a hard time deciding between the three of them. And in the end, I ended up going with the player that spent the longest time with them. For these, I am including their entire team history, so it's not just when they were with they were called the Baltimore Orioles. In their history, they were also known as first the Milwaukee Brewers in 1901, the St. Louis Browns from 1902 to 1953, and the Baltimore Orioles since 1954. For this, though, all four players were only on the Baltimore Orioles. So let's start with the guy that was pretty much the fourth choice on this, and that is Eddie Murray. Eddie Murray is in the Hall of Fame. He was inducted in 2003. You see some of his accolades, not all with the Orioles, but um, he did win Rookie of the Year in Baltimore. He was a member of the 1983 World Series winning team, where I believe he had two homers, three-time Gold Glover, three-time Silver Slugger. If we look at his numbers with Baltimore, spent 1977 through 1988 with them. Rejoined the team a decade later in 1996. So altogether, in his parts of 13 seasons with Baltimore, 1,884 games with a 294 batting average, 868 OPS, 343 homers, 1,224 RBIs, 1,084 runs, and 2,080 hits. If we look at his MVP finishes with Baltimore early in his career, we see he had a stretch where he finished sixth, then fifth, then second, then fourth, and fifth in AL MVP voting. So he was consistently one of the better players in the league. Won 3 Gold Gloves, won 2 Silver Sluggers. In the shortened 1981 season, he led the AL in homers and RBIs, led in walks and on base percentage in 1984. So Eddie Murray was a guy that it was hard. There was one player that I had a really hard time not including, and might cause some controversy. But Eddie Murray makes the Baltimore Orioles Mount Rushmore. Now, these other three players spent their entire careers with Baltimore, starting with Jim Palmer. Jim Palmer was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1990. As you can see, he had quite the career. Won 3 Cy Youngs, a 6-time All-Star, won 3 World Series, and 4 Gold Gloves in his time with the Orioles. It spanned for a total of 19 seasons. in those 19 seasons. Of course, all of Baltimore. He went 268 with a 268 and 152 with a 2.86 ERA, 1.18 WHIP. As you can see, three Cy Youngs. Also finished, was runner-up once, finished in third, runner-up twice, finished in third another time. Also was runner-up for the AL MVP in 1973, which amazingly was a season in which he didn't make the All-Star team, but he had 8 seasons of at least 20 wins, including 3 times leading the AL, led the AL in ERA twice, led the AL in innings 4 times, threw 53 shutouts in his career. Jim Palmer was a no-brainer to be included. Next, we have the standard bearer for a guy who just never left the lineup. Of course, that is Cal Ripken Jr. Cal Ripken Jr. Let's look at his accolades. Of course, made the Hall of Fame in 2007. Won 2 AL MVPs. Rookie of the Year, 19-time All-Star. Was a member of the 1983 World Series winning team. Won 2 Gold Gloves, 8 Silver Sluggers, twice an All-Star MVP. Of course, Cal Ripken Jr. is most famous for his 2,632 consecutive games, surpassing Lou Gehrig's 2,131. In all likelihood, that record will never be broken. Another Orioles lifer, spent his entire 21-year career with the team, batted 276, 431 home runs, 1,695 RBIs, 1,647 runs scored, and 3,184 hits, also 603 doubles. See all the black ink for games played because he never missed a game. 1983, his MVP season, he led the AL in runs, hits, and doubles, while also driving in over 100 and batting .318. His other MVP season was in 1991 when he hit .323, 46 doubles, 34 homers, 114 RBIs. 3 seasons with at least 100 runs, 4 seasons with at least 100 RBIs. Cal Ripken, another no-brainer choice. And last, another Orioles lifer, Brooks Robinson, inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1983. In his career, won an AL MVP, 18-time All-Star, 2-time World Series winner, 16 Gold Gloves. He's known by the majority of baseball pundits as the best defensive third baseman in MLB history. A guy like Nolan Arenado still trying to chase him. Was the World Series MVP and an All-Star Game MVP as well. Even though he was most known for his defense, it's not like he was a bad hitter at all. In his 23 seasons with the Orioles, he ended up hitting .267 with a above average OPS, 268 homers, 1,357 RBIs, 1,232 runs, and 2,848 hits. Won the MVP in 1964, a year that he led the league with 118 RBIs, also hitting 28 homers and batting .317. In his World Series MVP year, if we scroll down to his postseason batting, in the 5-game series against the Cincinnati Reds in 1970, he had .429 with 2 homers and 6 RBIs. No-brainer for his World Series MVP win there. Obvious choice. As you can see, nearly won a Gold Glove. Let's see, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16 straight seasons winning a Gold Glove at third base. His last one coming when he was still 38 years old. He also had Besides winning MVP once, he was the runner-up once, finished third twice, and fourth once. Um, Brooks Robinson also another no-brainer. So Brooks Robinson, Cal Ripken, and Jim Palmer all spent their entire career with the Orioles. They were no-brainers. The one I had the biggest trouble with deciding on, I ended up choosing Eddie Murray, and a lot of people are probably thinking, where is Frank Robinson? Frank Robinson joined the Orioles, and in his first season after being traded from the Reds was named the American League MVP. But when you look at career stats with the Orioles, Frank Robinson played less than half the amount of games that Eddie Murray did with the team. They both won a World Series. Maybe if Murray hadn't won a World Series with Baltimore, I would have given the edge to Frank Robinson. But he was definitely the hardest player to leave off. Also in consideration was George Sisler, who made the Hall of Fame and I believe won 2 batting titles while with the St. Louis Browns, and Mike Messina, who pitched a little over half his career with the Orioles before joining the Yankees and was recently inducted into the Hall of Fame. So, the Baltimore Orioles Mount Rushmore includes Eddie Murray, Jim Palmer, Cal Ripken Jr., and Brooks Robinson. Tomorrow I will be doing the Boston Red Sox. They will be the 4th team on this journey of MLB Mount Rushmores. Let me know in the comments if you think maybe Frank Robinson should have been over Eddie Murray. Any other disagreements, let me know in the comments. But make sure to hit that subscribe, like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. Tomorrow we do the Boston Red Sox, who of course have had a storied history and a lot of great players. Will be a challenging one. I'm out.